Alright everybody, welcome back to another video in the cryptocurrency series. So the other day I was talking to one of my coworkers and we were talking about NFTs. So I was telling him, wouldn't it be cool if you could create this character on a game, for example. Say you're playing Xbox and you create this character and you're able to save this character as an NFT. And then with that NFT, you can take this character from every game you play and add other smaller NFTs such as clothes or equipment to your character and use that character in all these different games. And so you would create this character that either looks like you or looks like somebody else or something different, and then you can go into Call of Duty and get all of your military gear and your weapons and things like that. Or then you can go to another game like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and all of a sudden you get different gear. You can buy this different gear, the different equipment, the skateboard and things like that, but you're using the same character. And he looked at me and said, that sounds just like Ready Player One. And I looked at him with a dumb look saying, I never watched that movie. I've heard a lot about it, but I should probably watch it. So then I watched it, and turns out a lot of the ideas that I had, yeah, they happened in that movie, which is actually a book before, but yeah, so let's talk about this. So if you're new to crypto, you may be wondering, what's an NFT? Or you may be wondering, what is an NFT, because everybody on the news and all sorts of people on YouTube are talking about NFTs all of a sudden. And you may also be thinking, what's a Metaverse? I've never even heard of this. So I'm going to kind of try to bring these together in this video and talk a little bit about it. So the first thing, NFTs, which have this crazy name that's kind of difficult to understand. An NFT is called a non-fungible token, which this is basically a digital identification, and for now, it's been used as digital collectibles or like digital trading cards or digital art. But the most important thing with NFTs is the technology behind it. It's kind of like the blockchain behind the crypto technology. NFTs can be used to identify something as a specific piece of property belonging to a specific person. So let's take, for example, let's say you go to the DMV and you register your car. And they give you a physical copy of your vehicle title, but also they give you an NFT digital copy of your car title. Now, this NFT digital copy of your car title is saved on the blockchain so that you can refer back to it, and it's in a decentralized public ledger so that everybody knows, okay, this car belongs to this person and it was purchased at this time, registered at this time, all this stuff. So you can have a digital copy of this contract, this agreement, or this piece of property. This digital contract can show when you obtained this piece of digital property from who. And so the technology behind the NFTs are way more exciting than just a small picture of a cat that looks like a Pop-Tart. But this is really cool because think of, for example, so say you rent a movie from like Amazon or something like that. You can rent the digital copy of the movie, and you could also buy the digital copy of the movie. But say that you buy a digital copy of a movie and then you want to sell it. Well, you can't. You just paid all this money to Amazon, but they just keep it and you have this digital thing that you can watch on Amazon. You can't do anything with it. Now imagine if that movie was an NFT. So you get this NFT from Amazon of a movie. You can watch it as much as you want because you own this digital copy of the movie. Amazon gets their cut from selling it to you, and now say that you get tired of it, you don't want it anymore. If it's an NFT, you can resell it, and depending on the value, you know, a used copy of this digital NFT might be worth less than just buying a new movie from Amazon, but you could still get value out of it. And they could also set it up in a way that if Amazon sells it to you, or the original production company that makes the movie, they can still get a cut, like a royalty, whenever you sell it. So that's something that's really cool about NFTs. Let's say, for example, you go to Audius and you want to buy a song. So you buy a song from this artist that created this song on Audius, and now the artist is getting a cut because they're getting like a royalty every time somebody buys a song. Well, then you decide, okay, you know what, I kind of want to clean out my digital stash, and so you sell this song. Well, when you sell the song to somebody else, then the artist still has their royalty programmed into the NFT, So you can get a little bit of money from selling the song, and the artist also gets their royalty cut. So NFTs and the way that they can be used in the digital space are really cool because it gives you a chance to actually own a piece of digital whatever, digital asset, digital property, which most of them have been digital properties so far. Another thing that people have been saying is like they've been playing video games where they buy skins or they buy equipment, different stuff like that, and they don't technically own it because when they quit the game or they start the game over, they don't get it back. But if it was an NFT, then they could sell it to other players. So this is kind of a cool thing, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of stuff that become NFTs. I could see a house title become an NFT. I could see our identification cards, our driver's license becoming NFTs. I could see our car titles, all these different things becoming NFTs so that they're on a digital, public, decentralized blockchain, and they're easier to keep track of, but also it's in so many different places because it's decentralized that people won't lose it. You can't just lose it, or like right now if you lose the title to your car, yeah, there's a backup in the DMV. But imagine if there was this blockchain that kept the data so that anybody could look and see, okay, who owns this car and what's the different information about the car. So another thing that's been used for NFTs so far is it's kind of like they've been using them for movie tickets or for concert tickets and different things like that. And if you buy the NFT, then you get VIP pass to the concert tickets. You can go backstage and meet the artist and different things like that. So NFTs are going to have a lot of uses in the future, but right now it's hard to see because all they're being used for is little pictures, digital collectibles and trading card type things. So forget the picture that's pasted to the front of this document, because the document aspect of the NFT, the digital property aspect, is probably the most important part of an NFT. And so those are pretty cool. So now let's go to the second part. So now let's talk about the second part, which is Metaverses, or the Metaverse, as a lot of people refer to it. So if you're familiar with the movie Ready Player One, then you've kind of got an idea of what the Metaverse is. If you're not, then you may be just as new to it as I was. So let's say, for example, that you like playing Xbox Live. Or let's think of the lobby before you start a game. In a way, that could kind of be like a metaverse. A metaverse is a place where you could go and meet up with people, talk with people, and with all the different things coming out like Oculus, the VR headsets, and all this different stuff, then you can go meet and interact with people in this metaverse, which is kind of like this lobby. But also in this metaverse, you can go into different games, you could go into different things, and you can meet people, you can interact with people, you can do all these different things. So there could be metaverses where you could buy a virtual house and put your NFTs in there and show it off to different people. It could be kind of like an interactive space, like a social media. And you could have people come over to your digital house and see your digital things and things like that. One thing it kind of reminds me of is when I was younger, I really liked playing the online game called RuneScape. And in RuneScape, you create this little character and you can go all over the RuneScape world and in these different areas, and you can go and do these different quests and build up your character. You can fight, you can mine, you can do all these different things to build up all your different skills. And you could also, if you were a member, you could buy or build a house and do all these different things. So then when your friends were playing, they could come over and see your house, see all your different things that you had set up, or they could interact with your character and all these different things. That could be kind of like a metaverse. So you could go in and you could do all this different stuff on there, and then your friends could come and they could see your different stuff, your digital assets, digital property, stuff like that. So now I know that companies like Facebook have been trying to work really hard to get into this metaverse space. And I haven't really figured out the whole purpose of this kind of stuff. I mean, for games, it sounds kind of fun, and for turning social media into kind of like a game where you have your own virtual house and you can do all these different things. I mean, it sounds kind of cool, but for me, like, honestly, I really don't care about having a virtual house where I could show off NFTs to my friends. So I haven't really got my mind wrapped around this yet, but I know it's coming. It probably won't happen super fast, but in the future they could have metaverse type stuff where you could go and interact with people. And one of the examples that I thought of that would be kind of cool is, say for example that Amazon has a store metaverse. So there's been a few times where I bought tools for work and they ended up being a different shape or a different size or a different configuration than the picture showed them. Imagine if you could go to this store in the metaverse, and say you put on a VR headset or something while you're sitting in your pajamas at home, and you could go and look through this virtual store and see what the tools actually look like, see what the items look like before you buy it. Say for example it's a pair of shoes and you want to try them on virtually. You could save your foot sizes and see if it's going to fit, which that still would be iffy when you get them in the real world, I guess, and you try to put them on, they could fit differently. But it would be kind of cool to be able to see, okay, this is what this looks like, and as technology advances further, get a kind of a good idea of what this item looks like before you actually buy it. And that way you can say, okay, this is what I want, this looks like what I want, and then you can buy it. So that's kind of one example that I thought of that would be kind of cool. Another thing that I thought of that would be helpful for this metaverse is, say that you're doing some sort of high-risk training or some type of simulation software. So imagine that you're in the military, for example, and instead of going out and doing all these different trainings, you could go to a simulation. You could learn how to fly jets, you could learn how to fly helicopters, you could learn how to shoot guns, do all these different things, or you could learn how to defuse bombs, different things like that that could be high risk, but the simulation can show you how to do things in a way that you're in no risk of getting hurt, but you can still learn the knowledge from it. So I could see a lot of the simulations that already work right now, they could move into a metaverse type space and use the technology and the different aspects coming from these crypto projects to kind of tie it together and make it a better product and make it so people could learn with less risk to getting hurt or injured or anything like that. So now there's another thing that I was thinking is that there's probably going to be a lot of different metaverses depending on what's going on. I know right now there's like Sandbox or Decentraland, and Decentraland is teaming up with Kraken right now, and they're going to have a concert or like a music festival that's on a metaverse that Decentraland created, so that virtually you could go to this music festival and interact and see the different shows and stuff like that. But I have a feeling that a lot of the big tech companies are either going to work together or create their own metaverses. Kind of like Facebook is working on a metaverse right now, and they've teamed up with Coinbase for a lot of different things. I could see Facebook creating their own metaverse. I could see Amazon creating its own metaverse. Apple, Google probably creating their own metaverses. And even Netflix, I wouldn't be surprised if they created some sort of metaverse based on movies and TV shows and different things like that. Kind of like a virtual movie theater type metaverse. And AMC probably could get on that same type of thing. Disney could create their own Disney metaverse. I could see this going all over the place. But I could also see companies like Sony or Microsoft maybe teaming up with some of these bigger companies. Maybe Microsoft teams up with Amazon and they create their own metaverse. Maybe Sony teams up with Google or something like that. Different things that they could work together to create these different metaverses, and they could have different purposes, different reasons, and then the winners will come out on top and it'll start to sort through these different metaverses. So now I still have kind of a hard time seeing where this would be super helpful. I mean, if you want to go to a music festival in Egypt, for example, I don't know, and you live in the United States, say that maybe you don't have the opportunity to go physically, but you could still kind of interact virtually. I mean, I guess I could see the benefit there, but if I was to travel somewhere, for example, say I want to go to Hawaii, I'd much rather go to Hawaii in person than visit Hawaii in a virtual metaverse. I think that kind of defeats the purpose. So, I don't know, I'll have to see, I'll have to learn more about this. I'm sure that sometime in the future they'll have a lot more metaverse type stuff, people can interact with it. And if it was like Ready Player One and you can play games where you're strapped into a an equipment thing or whatever, and you can run like crazy and jump and do all this stuff. I think those games would be really fun, and I'd probably play a ton of them because I think running and jumping and doing all this crazy stuff would be a lot of fun. But we'll just have to see where it ends up going. But that's some of my thoughts on NFTs and metaverses. And I'll go ahead and leave the links in the description for the different learning resources like I mentioned in some of the other videos and some of the exchanges that I like to use. So if you want to learn more about this or try to get involved in different things like that, you can follow the links and learn a little bit more about it. And if you're big into metaverse type stuff and NFTs already, leave your thoughts down below in the comments. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, where you think things are going, and some of the uses that the metaverse could have, different things like that. I think it would be a really cool discussion. So I'll probably do some more videos about this kind of stuff when I learn a little bit more about it, but these are some of my thoughts so far, and I kind of just wanted to share them with everybody. And so thank you again for following along in this little series, and even when this little series is over, I'll probably still make more videos about crypto and different things like that, because I think it's here to stay and the future for crypto is really good. I'm probably very conservative in my thoughts on where crypto is going compared to somebody like Raoul Pal and the Real Vision crypto team and different stuff like that. But I think that the crypto is going to be merging together with a lot of the tech industries and a lot of the different technology that's coming out, and it's going to be a big part of our lives going forward. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.